Emma Raducanu, former world number 8, sparks backlash with ridiculous take on Brit's US Open win. Former ATP star John Isner has come under fire after a bold claim he made about Valentin Vacherat's 2025 Shanghai Masters triumph and Emma Raducanu's US Open title run. Vacherat shocked the tennis world by winning 9 consecutive matches, including 2 qualifying rounds, to claim his first-ever ATP title at the prestigious ATP 1000 event in Shanghai. The 26-year-old Monegasque was ranked 204th and only entered the qualifying draw after a host of withdrawals as he was the 9th alternate. Isner discussed Vacherat's remarkable victory on the Nothing Major podcast with fellow former American pros Sam Querrey, Steve Johnson and Jack Sock. The former world number 8 was asked by Querrey if Vacherat's Shanghai run was more impressive than Raducanu winning the 2021 US Open title. "That's a good question. You absolutely can compare it," Isner said. "I think it's more impressive, yes. But Raducanu, it's a bigger story because it's the US Open. I think this Vacherat's run is more improbable than what she did." Emma Raducanu features. A look at Emma Raducanu's mixed 2025 season. A year of progress, pain and a coaching boost. Emma Raducanu's big call will hit her ranking, but she has bigger questions to answer. But obviously, it being the US Open, that Raducanu won, makes it a bigger story, even though this story is really big in the tennis world. I'm giving it to Vacherat there. It was just unheard of. Raducanu won 10 straight matches, including 3 qualifiers, without dropping a set to win the 2021 US Open in astonishing fashion. The Brit, who was 18 and ranked 150th at the time, is the only player in tennis history to win a Grand Slam title as a qualifier. Isner's controversial take was shared in a post on X, and the American was met with strong and widespread disagreement. "These people must leave Emma Raducanu alone. Celebrate the new guy alone," one user wrote. Another posted, "Ridiculous claim. The best players weren't even there in Shanghai." Several users argued that winning a Grand Slam and a Masters title should not be compared. "I think there is serious recency bias involved here. A qualifier winning a Masters is not unheard of. A qualifier winning a Slam is," one wrote. Emma was 18, playing only her second Grand Slam event and hadn't even won a match on the WTA Tour. She won 10 matches and Vacherat 9. When Emma Raducanu captured the world's attention in 2021 by winning the US Open as an 18-year-old qualifier, it felt like the birth of a new era. Her fearless run from obscurity to major champion was the kind of fairy tale tennis hadn't seen in decades. But years later, her triumph continues to polarize opinions, especially after a recent controversial comment from a former world number 8 that left fans fuming across social media. The retired player, whose remarks quickly went viral, called Raducanu's US Open win a perfect storm, but not something that could ever happen again, going so far as to suggest it was a one-off fluke rather than a foundation. While the name of the pundit hardly matters, the sting of the sentiment did. Tennis fans, particularly those who have followed Raducanu's turbulent yet determined journey since that historic night in New York, didn't take kindly to the claim. The fairy tale turned flashpoint. To understand why such remarks cut deep, one needs to revisit that magical fortnight in Flushing Meadows. Emma Raducanu didn't just win the US Open, she did it without dropping a single set in 10 matches, a feat unprecedented in tennis history for a qualifier. She dismantled experienced players with poise beyond her years, including Olympic champion Belinda Bencic and Canada's Leylah Fernandez in a final that seemed to signal the arrival of a new global star. It wasn't just that she won, it was how she won. Her fearless returns, crisp ball striking and radiant composure under pressure made her look like a seasoned pro rather than a teenager sitting her A-levels just weeks before. Commentators hailed it as a revolution in women's tennis, a sign that youth and courage could topple experience and tradition. But as quickly as Raducanu rose, the pressure to sustain that meteoric form followed. Injuries, coaching changes, and the weight of expectation have shadowed her since. So when a veteran player dismisses her triumph as ridiculous or unrepeatable, it reopens an old debate. Was Raducanu's victory destiny or just a dazzling accident? The backlash unfolds. Within hours of the remarks airing on a podcast, social media lit up. Calling Emma's win a fluke is lazy analysis, one fan posted on X, formerly Twitter. Another added, "If it was so easy, why hasn't any other qualifier ever done it?" Sports journalists and analysts joined the chorus. Former British number 1 Laura Robson countered the narrative, saying, "Winning a Grand Slam is never luck. You have to beat whoever's across the net. Emma did that 10 times without losing a set. That's not a fluke, that's dominance." Even current stars weighed in, some subtly, others boldly. One top 20 player shared a photo of Raducanu lifting the US Open trophy with the caption, "History doesn't need defending." It was a statement that captured the broader feeling that diminishing Raducanu's achievement says more about the critic than about the player herself. The pressure of perfection. In truth, Raducanu's post-2021 journey has been difficult, but not abnormal. Many young champions, from Monica Seles to Naomi Osaka, have faced the immense challenge of balancing fame, form, and expectation. Raducanu's story is made even more complex by her rapid rise. She went from relative anonymity to being a global icon overnight. Endorsements, media scrutiny, and injuries disrupted her rhythm. But those who closely follow her career note that the spark remains. Her recent return to form, strong showings in smaller tournaments, improved physicality, and a renewed focus on fitness, suggest she's building towards something again. "She's still 22, said one former coach in defense. "If Emma wins another slam in 5 years, nobody will remember these criticisms. Great players write their legacy over time, not in one season." The fluke argument, and why it falls apart. Calling Raducanu's US Open win a fluke overlooks the fundamental truth about elite sport. Success requires both talent and timing. Sure, conditions aligned, the draw, the momentum, the mental freshness. But every champion, from Serena Williams to Novak Djokovic, has benefited from circumstances aligning at key moments. The difference is that Raducanu's victory came so early and so unexpectedly that people struggle to categorize it. It didn't fit the traditional narrative of gradual ascent. Instead, it was a supernova, sudden, shocking, and luminous. But flukes don't hold up under numbers. She hit more winners than unforced errors in nearly every match, and she outplayed world-class opponents with consistency and control. One stat-driven analyst noted, Raducanu's 2021 US Open wasn't a lucky streak. Her serve, return, and movement metrics were elite across the board. She didn't scrape through, she dominated. Beyond the noise. For Raducanu herself, the chatter seems to matter less these days. In recent interviews, she's spoken about rebuilding quietly and focusing on health rather than headlines. "People will always talk," she said earlier this year. "But I know what I'm capable of. My journey is my own." It's that quiet confidence, the same calm that carried her through